third week of the Ferris Fanny Pack sew along. And my name is Michelle. If you are just joining us for the first time, I am leading this sew along. This is my first sew along, so I hope, sorry, I just accidentally clicked my stand. This is my first sew along. I'm quite enjoying it. I hope you are. Please let me know if you have any comments during the video. And of course, we always monitor the comments after we post the video live, or the live video. We always usually do it the next day, so it's not going to be live immediately. I bet it'll be live tomorrow, most likely in the morning. Katie's the one who does that, so it's whenever she gets around to it. So yeah, so we're starting to kind of put our fanny pack together, and this is where we left off last week. So we've got the front pocket done. So this is what the inside's gonna look like right now. So right now we just kind of got this nice little pocket in here. And like I said, in mine, I can fit my wallet in there, which is kind of nice. You can definitely fit a larger phone. Yeah, it can hold lots of stuff in there. So for the rest of the sew along tonight, we are going to do the next zipper. It's a little trickier than the first one, so we're going to talk about some tips to make that a little easier. And we are going to put the sides on, do the lining and the back, and do all the hardware, and do the strap. And it's actually quite easy. None of the stuff is terribly complicated. It just, I find this pattern sews up really quickly. So hopefully we can get it done tonight. What we're going to need tonight is we are going to need our hardware. So the Ferris Fanny Pack hardware is put together by Sally Tomato. We are still waiting for our supplier to come back in stock for this. So as soon as it is, we will have it up on the website and in store hopefully soon. I haven't heard anything recently, but cross our fingers soon. Same with the pattern. We haven't got any paper patterns of it right now. If you are looking to purchase the pattern and you want it right away, you can get the PDF version from the Sally Tomato website, and you can just print it off. The pattern itself comes on 8.5 by 11 sheets that you print out, or you photocopy the pattern pieces, not the instructions. And so yeah, you can get a PDF copy from Sally Tomato. Hopefully we will have some more in store soon. So yeah, we need the hardware kit. We need a jeans needle. I'm using a 90-14. And if you're using something really thick, you might want to consider 116. I definitely wouldn't go smaller than a 90-14 if you're using canvas or oilskin or anything like that. I used a 90-14 on all of my samples, and it worked really well. No issues with breakage or anything like that. So a 90-14 is usually pretty good. If you've got something a little thicker, then you might want to go up a little go up a size. We are going to need all of our pattern pieces that we have cut out and haven't used yet. And we are going to need our last little bit of zipper tape. You can use a regular pre-cut, not pre-cut, but like a regular size zipper for this. I really like the zipper tape. I find it's really fun to work with. I like that you can just use the amount that you need, and then you have more left over and for another project. I really like it. And some of the zipper tape can come in really fun colors, and there's some striped ones out there. We have some black and white at the store, which is pretty fun. It looks like a little zebra stripe almost. We're not able to get really funky colors, but they are out there if you are looking for them. You just have to Google, and there are a couple places out there that sell that. So we'll need our zipper. And so yeah, let's get started. So yeah, don't hesitate to make a comment if you have any questions while we're going along. Oh, you might want to use some Wonder Clips. I like these way better than pins when I'm sewing bags. I find pins just cause too much bulk and distortion and bumps, and I just don't like that. I really like Wonder Clips. They're super handy. And yeah, so let's get started. So we've got this part done. Now we need to do the zipper up here. So you're going to want to take this piece, this little, I wouldn't say it's a crescent, but similar, and you want the exterior fabric one. And then you need to take your zipper, and we need to put our zipper pull on it. So like I did last time, just bear with me one moment, make some space here. So what I like to do, everyone has a slightly different method for putting a zipper pull on. I like to just pull apart a little bit of the end so it kind of looks like this. And then I have the zipper teeth facing me, facing up. I have my zipper pull. So I consider the top this V part and the bottom the kind of square part. And I have it facing down. So the V is facing kind of like this. It's hard to see, sorry. But it's facing the zipper pull V is facing the teeth. And I just kind of ease those teeth on one side. And there's a little groove in there, and I put it in the groove. And then I kind of ease the other side in there, get it in the groove so it's fairly even. And it's gonna look like this. And then what I do is I put it on my table. Here, I'll get the phone down so you can see. Oh, sorry, my thing is completely losing itself here. So I have it nice and even, and I hold 2 fingers on the zipper tape, and I take the pull in my other hand and I just pull so it gets on there. Now you want it even, and sometimes this one's not even, so I don't like that. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put it back on and make it even. And there, that's a little better. So now I have my zipper pull on. I don't like to pull it down too far because we're going to be moving it as we sew. So I just kind of get it so it's on, and there we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is also, I forgot to mention, so the large size calls for a 14-inch zipper. With the zipper tape, I cut it 1 inch longer than the zipper size required. So I cut this at 15 inches. That'll give us enough on either end to work with, because a regular zipper is 15, like let's say it's a 14-inch zipper. It's going to be 14 inches from the pull to the zipper stop at the end. It doesn't include the tape at the top or the bottom. So that's kind of what you're replicating with the zipper tape, is you are cutting 15 inches instead of 14 inches so that you can replicate that top part and the bottom part of the regular zipper. Now, of course, if you're doing a medium or a small, you are going to have different zipper sizes. So check your pattern and cut it 1 inch larger than what it says you need. Okay, so another thing you need to consider is what way your zipper pull is going on here, and you kind of want them both to go the same direction. So make sure that when you start pinning it on this piece, this is the top, so the non-curved piece is the top. You want to make sure that's not where the zipper is. The zipper is going to go here, and so you want the zipper to open the same way that the other zipper does on the pocket. So think about that when you're applying it. And you want to put your zipper face down towards your exterior fabric. So right side to right side. And basically what we're going to do is, let me just make sure it's going to open on the same way. And it's not, so let's fix it. So one way to test if it's going to open the right way is put it down like this. So put your front pocket piece in your piece like this. Put it down and put it on, and then flip it and see if it's going to pull the same direction, and it is. So I know I have it on the right spot. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your zipper tape edge and you're going to line it up with that curve piece, and you're basically going to start at the end and go all the way around, and you're just easing it around the curve. So this is a time where you might want to use quite a few clips just so it stays in place and curves around there nicely. So I'm just clipping. And I like to put the flat side of the clip down so that it sits nicely on your machine when you're sewing it. Because I will be sewing the top on top of the zipper tape, not from the bottom of the exterior fabric, but the top of the zipper tape. Oh, another thing you will need tonight is a zipper foot. So make sure you have your zipper foot if you are sewing along. And so you'll notice my zipper went a little further, and that's fine. you just want to make sure that you have zipper all the way along the length of this. So you'll see that that zipper is curving with the pattern piece, and that's why there's like some ripples here. That's fine. That's what you want to do. You don't need to clip it. It will curve enough around there on its own, so don't worry about clipping this edge at all. Some people do that for some patterns, but you don't need to do it for this pattern. So now we're going to take it to the machine, and we're going to baste it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I just need to get my zipper foot. There it is. Take that one off. Put this on. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this edge, and I'm going to sew along here with a 1/4 inch seam allowance with a basting stitch length to get that zipper on there. And what you might want to do is use your fingers and just kind of hold that in place. I'm just adjusting my stitch length. Now this is where just so you can see my face, this is where a stiletto can really be handy, or a purple thing. We have it at the store. It's a cheap little plastic thing. It helps where it just, you're gonna hold the zipper tape in place. I don't have one, but I have some tweezers, serger tweezers that will work. So what you're gonna do is just, I know you can't really see this. Wonder if I can get it. That light on my machine is way too bright. It's those LED lights that they come with. Yeah, so you're just gonna hold it, the stiletto or whatever you've got that's gonna work. Hold that zipper tape in place, and it lets you get really close stitching wise to it without your finger, because your finger's quite big and in the way. So if you use a stiletto or something like this, it helps just hold stuff in place and get closer before you have to take it off. So I don't normally use one. I usually just use my fingers, but I see where it can be super handy. And just following along here. Clips around. Okay, now my pull is kind of in the way, so I'm just going to move it along. There we go. There. Cut my thread. And now I have this zipper basted on. So this would be also a good time to double check to make sure you have your zipper going in the right direction, because it'd be easier now to take it apart if you had to. And it's good. So the next thing we need to do is we need to take this piece and sew our lining piece on top. So this is what the lining piece looks like for me. And basically you're just going to put it on top of the zipper tape. Like you've got a little sandwich in there. You got a zipper sandwich. So the zipper is your meat, and the lining and the exterior fabric is your bread. Now you're going to want to match up your ends. This is where I might move my pole a little bit. Now sometimes I find that the lining, and because there is such a bias edge on one of these, on the curved edge, may not be the exact same size as your exterior fabric. It might be a little bit bigger. That's okay. Just go by your exterior fabric. So I'm just lining up. This is where it's a little tricky. Things like to slip around, especially because you've got a bit of bulk there from the zipper. Now, what I like to do is I like to pin so that the fleece exterior piece is on top. I said this last time, when I'm sewing it, I like to have any of the lining pieces on the bottom so that it kind of moves through my machine with the feed dogs a little nicer, and it's not pushing this too much. And so I find sometimes if you have the lining fabric on top, by the time you get to the bottom of your seam or the end of your seam, it's shifted a lot and you've got too much of the lining at the end. So I like to put the exterior fabric on top and sew from that side. I just find it gives you a better finish. So I'm just pinning this so it fits nicely. And you're just making sure it's even and it's not bunched up anywhere. And then I'm going to take it to the machine and I'm going to sew with regular stitch length, so 2.5 millimeters, the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance along the zipper. Okay. Now, don't worry about sewing over these zipper teeth because you can. They're just nylon. They're not actually metal, so it's really nice for that. You don't have to worry about breaking a needle, and you can just sew right over it, so that's nice. Now, I just changed my stitch length, and here we go. Now you're going to get to where your zipper pull is, and you just want to make sure your needle is down. I have a needle down function on my machine, so I like using that when I'm sewing bags. And you're just going to move your zipper pull past your zipper foot so that it's out of the way, and then just continue on. Okay, so that's now sewn. You got a little sandwich there, or a pita pocket. Kind of looks like a pita. And you're gonna want to bring the zipper to the outside. So it's gonna look like this. So you've got the exterior, you've got the interior. I close up my zipper a little bit. And then you're gonna top stitch along here with a 3.5 inch, sorry, 3.5, oh, that's huge, a 3.5 millimeter stitch length. And for this large and medium, they recommend a 1/4 inch away from the seam. For a small, 1/8 of an inch. And so I am just going to switch my foot to the other one. My regular one, I like to do top stitching with that foot better. And just change my stitch length. Now when you're sewing this, it's gonna not want to lay flat, so just work with the curve. Finger press it open and just go with it. So it might like curve up like this a little bit. That's fine. Just I find it helps to do that. And you're just wanting to make sure that the lining is even with your exterior underneath. You don't want it bunched up. So I'm coming up to my pull. So I'm going to keep my needle in my fabric, lift up my foot, and just open that, or move that zipper pull down, and then continue on. Okay. So that was the tricky part. It is not too terribly tricky. So now we have a nice curved piece for the top part of our fanny pack. So next step is to take it and sew it onto this guy. So slightly tricky here, but not terribly, is you're taking this what semi-curved piece. It's not really curved because it's actually a straight line of zipper tape, but it's curving because of this top piece. And you're going to put it along the straight edge of this. So what you're doing is you are matching up. Actually, what I like to do is match my centers here. So I fold this piece in half, and I don't have a pin. I'll be right back. So I like to take a pin. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting the stand with my chair, and I'm going to put it in here just to mark where my center is. So there's the center of this, and then I'm going to do the same with this. So I fold it. I'm going to match these seam lines, match the edge, pull it tight, and then I just put a pin right in the middle there. So now I know where the center is of this piece, and then I'm just going to match them together. And so you're going to take it, it's going to look like this, and you're going to fold it down so it looks like this and match your centers. So you'll just have to kind of eyeball. And I'm not going to use a pin to hold that in place. I'm going to use a clip. And I'm just clipping this along that edge. All the way to the other side. Okay, so now it's going to look like this. I can take this pin out because I know where our center is. So you get it, you guessed it, we're going to baste it. So now we're going to go to the machine and using a basting stitch with your zipper foot, you are going to baste those pieces with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So this pattern has you use your machine to baste it on. You could use other basting things. You could do basting tape or Wonder Tape. By Annie's has a really nice basting tape product. It's really thin. It's only 1/8 of an inch wide, so it gets into nooks and crannies really nicely. You can use glue. You can use regular washable glue stick. You could use regular glue, washable glue like white glue. That would work too. What I like to do with that is I like to give it a little iron so it kind of dries really quickly and gets into place. You could hand baste it as well, but I prefer just to machine baste it. I'm already here. I don't have to get up again to go grab some other thing, and I just machine baste it. So going back to the machine, I've got a basting stitch. I need 1/4 inch away seam allowance, and I'm just sewing, basting that zipper into place. Now your pattern, or your pieces are going to want to curve too. You've got nice straight pieces, but because of the curved part of the upper piece, it's going to want to move along there. And now I'm coming to my zipper, so I'm just moving, or my zipper pull, so I'm just moving that back. And sewing. This is where the stiletto can come in handy too. I'm just so used to not using one that I haven't really got into the hang of it. Okay. So now that's basted on. So we basically have what's looking to starting to look like a fanny pack. So, but the inside just looks like this. So we need to make it look nice on the inside. So just bear with me a moment here. Oh, yes. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our lining piece. Let me just, our pocket lining piece will look like this. So it's not the back lining piece that looks like the back piece. It's the little smaller one. Looks like this. And what you're going to do is we're basically going to sew it. It should be the exact same shape as this. Sorry, someone just had a comment. And I missed it. Something about they missed this step when they made it. Yeah, so some of this can be a little tricky with the diagrams in the pattern. And this step, and when you put the lining and the back lining and the back piece on, were a little confusing for me. So I think I've got it figured out now. So hopefully I can help you with that. So yeah, so we are taking this. So normally before when we sewed our zipper on, we sewed it and then we top stitched it. We are not doing that with this piece because we want to sandwich this piece in the lining and then we're going to flip it and then we're top stitching. So that's important. You got to not top stitch first. You put your lining in and then you top stitch. So just like before, and you're going to put right sides together. So it's going to be, this is the wrong side of the fabric, the right side of the exterior, right side of the lining. They're faced together. I like to pin it from the exterior side, like I said, so that when I'm sewing this, it's not shifting around a whole heck of a lot. And you're basically just matching it. Now, I think I noticed that when I sewed this, that the lining doesn't always match up nicely. It seems to be a little bigger than what your actual pieces are. And I have heard that comment about some of this pattern. So what I like to do is find the middle of my lining. And the middle of this piece. And then I put them together so that I know at least where the middle is. And then if there's a little overhang on the other side, that's fine. Or on the sides, that's fine. No, I want to flip this around. And things don't always sit nice either because of that zipper in there, wanting to make things curve. Okay. Okay, so my lining ended up being about 1/4 of an inch bigger on either side here. So it's a little bit bigger here and a little bit bigger over here, but that's okay. Not a huge deal. We'll adjust that once we go to sew more steps. So now you're going to take it to your machine. I like to do it exterior side up. Adjust your stitch to a 2.5. Now you still want your zipper foot, and you are stitching a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way down that seam. Now this is where your foot, or like your foot might want to like push out from your zipper, so just keep it on that path. And if you might grab some of this seam too, so pick up your foot if you need to. Try to keep everything nice and even. I know what I need to do. I need to. So I just noticed my foot was really fighting against the zipper. So I just moved my needle position over a little bit so that my foot is not as close to the zipper teeth, but my needle is still 3/8 of an inch away. So I'm hoping that's going to help. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Yeah. Okay, continuing on. Now I'm coming up to my zipper pull, so I lift it, or I'm going to put my needle down, lift my foot, move my zipper pull out of the way, and continue on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have it sandwiched in there. We're going to pull it out the right way, or so it's right side out. So this is what the outside is going to look like, and this is what the inside looks like. So this is what's going to form the inside pocket. So now we need to top stitch that seam that we just sewed. I'm going to switch my foot. I'm going to put my needle position back. And I will be top stitching 1/4 inch away. So basically I've just kind of pulled it with my fingers away, like finger pressed it away from this seam. I don't like to use the iron with zippers like this because sometimes they can melt. I find this does a good enough job. So I'm going to top stitch all along that. Now use the curve of the bag to just go along that nice straight spot. Now, I feel like I can get past my zipper pull, so I think I should be okay. I don't need to move it. And you're just kind of making sure stuff is nice and even under there. Okay. Perfect. Okay, got to the edge of that. And now we have it top stitched. And our zipper is here, so it is going to end up over here. But before I move it, what I like to do is I like to, and the instructions have you as well, baste all the way around this so that the lining stays in place and it doesn't shift and stuff. So I'm just going to give it a clip and a couple clips around here. Actually, turn those the other way. Now, I don't know if you can see, but my lining is a little bit bigger at the bottom. That's fine. We can just trim that off. So just clipping this in place. And then, so what I like to do is I like to start up here and I baste all the way along the bag till I get to the other side up here. And when I sew over here, I create some zipper stops so that my zipper pull won't accidentally come off after I already have it sewn in there. Now, if it does come off and you're using zipper tape, you can put it back on. You just have to be very careful that it's lined up nicely. But I like to create some stops so that doesn't happen. So I am going to start at this side and just with a 1/4 inch quarter-inch seam allowance, I am going to baste around that pivot. And I'm just having it so things are nice and flat underneath there. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect either, as long as you are within the 3/8 seam allowance so it doesn't show when you sew your bag together. That's fine. And then up here. Perfect. Okay, so now I can move my zipper and it won't come off. So that's great. Sorry, I just heard something fall on the ground. I wasn't sure. So we are at 32 minutes. There's still quite a bit left to do. I thought it would sew up super faster than that. But so what I'm thinking is it might be a good idea to do another week. I am free next Tuesday again at 8 o'clock. So that's what we'll do. Because we still have to put the lining in and we have to put the back on and then we have to turn everything right side out. We're going to birth our bag and then we have to do the hardware and all of that. And there's still some side pieces to do too. So I'm going to call it there and we are going to return next week and finish it up because yeah, there's still some more steps. We're already at like more than 30 minutes. So I think that's probably good for now. If you have any questions or comments, please comment on the video tomorrow once it's posted. If you have any comments or questions now, please don't hesitate to let me know. I don't know if you can see that, but if you open up your zipper, oh, it's not doing that. Oh yeah, it's this. Sorry, I confused myself. I thought we were at the end and we weren't. Yeah, so here's where we're at. We are going to continue next week. And yeah, if you have any comments, let us know. Yeah, and oh, we still do have a couple of kits left. If anyone is looking to purchase one, they are now 25% off. So check out the website or come in store and you can get a discounted kit. Everything that you need to sew the Ferris Fanny Pack. Thread, zippers, hardware, fabric, everything. So yeah, so I'm going to end it there and I will see everyone next week. Bye.